Hello everybody and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program, Rise of the Dark Fog. Now, today's episode is going to be all about making sure that we avoid running out of resources. At least out of the basic resources, and in order to do that, I will set up a few ILSs in what I'm hoping to be, sorry, not ILSs, but I'll go with PLSs in what I'll consider to be a few of the key points around the planet. Even if that means there's gonna be a slightly longer belts every here and there, I'll be okay with that. Really? No power? And this is basically gonna act as a supply node for everything that comes out of these guys. Yeah, this will need two. It's always fiddly to place these things around the poles. Can this reach? Unfortunately no, so I'll try to get this again divided in halves. What's happening here? So let's see. This will have 1600. So a belt is 30 per second times 60, so it's 1800 per second for belt, for a blue belt. That means that let's try to get this one over here like this. And if I use even just one stacker, that should be more than enough to then be able to... Really? Then be able to get this belt over like this. This one can go in there. I'll use one stacker, that's a bit over the capacity of a belt. So I'll just use two belts fully stacked for output. Now this should fill this one up in basically no time. So I have 21 veins, I'll do this and this. What's the throughput on these guys? 900 and 1000. I will stack it Why not? Where's the ALS? The PLS is over here. I do want to get a few more iron veins. That one. Just trying to see where there's a larger concentration. So these ones I am currently mining. Not yet planned. I still have quite a few resources. I have a lot of these. I have not that much stone left. I want to get a bit more iron ore right now. And this one is actually a very good spot, although it's not in the center. Although it's not in the center, I will get this one now. Wouldn't it be nice if I could put a pin here so I know how to get back? Like, this gives me a somewhat of an idea, but yeah. There's also a stone deposit there. And another iron deposit. And another iron deposit. Okay, this is a good area. I think that this is gonna be the last one I'm gonna take for now. I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deposits with this one. I have just 6 more miners, so let's try to see if I can make these ones count. The belt can be a bit longer, that's not an issue. That one is the full depot as well. Well, this one's a bit awkward. And it's awkward enough that I cannot mine it with just one of them. They have outputs on the side, so that I shouldn't have any issues. Tapping both deposits. And let's try to... Yeah, this is perfect. Really? I have no power connection anywhere around here. This is a blue belt. Collide with another object. Where? Oh, there. I was like, that looks very good. That looks like a very nice path. So that's 800, that's 500, so that's just a blue belt. These ones I can actually do all in one. Get a bit of side loading going there. Space fleets are now... Base fleets are now up to 4, I believe. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's everything there. You're gonna be supplying this, this, and this. That's not the greatest throughput, but we'll live. So this gives me what? 1000 per minute. How much will this give me? 0 per minute because it is fully packed. I'm wondering if I can surely I have some regular mining machines that are still working. These are dead. There's another stone deposit there. There's not that many stone reserves on this planet. Oh, there's still stone in here. So this gives me 42 per minute because it has just one of these. Let's say 50 per minute, 50 times 6, that is 300 per minute. It's roughly about the same, it's just the fact that I cannot overlap them, which is a bit of a potential issue. Like there's the throughput is going to be slightly lower. Kind of funny looking, but that works. These ones are fully packed. So let's take a look at what's happening here. I want to see if there's any LSs that are struggling to keep up with their inputs and outputs. And I should probably be looking at the what is this for? Local storage. I can set this to local demand as well. Am I out of deuterium finally? It might be that I have finally run out of deuterium. I am using deuterium in quite a few places, but let's take another look. Now, this is one of the reasons why I'm thinking that there could be better ways to monitor the base. I really wish I could set alarms. That's actually good. This one is good to be empty. This one is still working. That's good. But yeah, setting alerts on ILSs, and we still have... I need to check to make sure that we don't run out of organic crystals. I will go and set up another outpost as soon as we run out of, but right now our hubs are full. There's nothing that is, well, except deuterium. obviously. Deuterium, and we're back here. We are getting some deuterium, which is nice, but this is gonna be the throttling factor when it comes to green science. And because of that, and this is really struggling. Because of that, I think that my next build is actually going to be a deuterium build. And for deuterium, there's two ways of building deuterium. Before that, I want to configure these things. At this point, I think we could go ahead, like if this becomes a problem, we could go ahead and take care of it permanently. Well, sort of permanently, because we cannot really destroy the space dark fog hive until we destroy the base on the planet, and we've been growing that base for a very long time now. Which is one of the reasons why some people actually avoid doing that in their home system, which is a perfectly valid reason not to do that. So, let's go into blueprint mode first. So over here I have build edge to edge. And we have 3 more slots here available for build. We'll offset them by about this much to clear the permanent resources over there. But that should give me plenty of space to build over here. And I will also basically leave this space over here empty for maybe expansion for science, maybe some random stuff. Keep this power here, I guess. And start another build over here. We don't have that many unique builds left. It's basically 6 builds. Although some of them will not actually follow the pattern that I currently have. And let's head over here, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that maybe I could have done something to keep the same level of aggression on the dark fog base, and maybe just removing those babs that there were only the 3 of them that were in the range of the turrets, so maybe that would have been a better thing to do. I don't know, but well, nothing. Well, it's not nothing I can do now, but okay, this is where I have a bit of space left. You know what? Import 5000. This is gonna be remote demand. I do have space warpers. It's gonna be local supply. And before I do anything, I will set up on export. For these guys. This is going to be a provider. I was like, oh wow, these guys moved really quick, but then I realized that I actually have a bit more room. I had some on me, some left on me. So I want to set up the advanced mining machines now. This is gonna be another 5 builds, so I'll just kick it off from the 4. And I need to remember to upgrade. I can now upgrade everything, which is really nice. So, advanced mining, we require titanium, frame material, rings, and quantum chips. Titanium alloy, sphere frames, quantum chips, and what was it? Rings. Rings are here. And obviously crystals. Set the correct filters. I should be able to provide, if not everything, at least most of the things. What are you still missing? Yeah, that build is... This titanium build has lasted for a very long time. It was meant to be way more of a temporary solution than it actually was, but it served its purpose. I am going to try to find a solution. I don't want to have just this this amount of kills. This is way too low. That it's gonna take forever to grow that system. But now that we have that build, I actually wanted to grab something else. I think I've been supplied with most of the things, but are these the fractioners? Yes, these are the fractioners. So fractioners require somewhat more power than a regular assembly machine, but nowhere near as much compared to the miniature particle colliders. But let's get first of all to the place where I want to build, which is over this way. So I'll use this lane. I will try to see if I can keep the build contained to the regular space. I've actually never tried this build. The way the fractioners work is you basically run belts through them. It's literally belt in, belt out. And they have a 1% chance of converting any pass-through deuterium to, hydrogen into the deuterium. And it only requires power. I think that now that I look at it, it is very plausible to keep the build contained within the amount of space that I currently have planned for everything. And the idea for this build is I will leave maybe about this amount of space to do sorting here. Actually, this should be more than enough. It's gonna be a very simple build in terms of inputs and outputs. So you're gonna be local demand, remote demand. You're gonna be local supply and remote supply. I will cap it. I don't think there's any reason not to cap it. And let's get back to the build. So what's basically gonna happen is over here there's gonna be a belt that will run around in circles. I'll see how long I want it to make, but basically that belt is going to return over on this other side. This is actually gonna be on the second level. So let's first of all place down the fractioner design. I think that I can do something even better with this than I originally thought. So this fractioner will actually have an inner loop. That's way too close to the edge. I'll start things off with a sorter placed over, let's say over here in the center. Now the main belt is gonna, the supply belt is gonna pass through like this. The fractioner is going to be as close to this as possible. And then there's gonna be a loop. Let's make the loop go clockwise. The size of the loop shouldn't matter. The smaller the better. There's gonna be an output line over here. I guess running either. I guess the output line is gonna run like this. That's gonna go over there. And this is gonna, I can flip this over. And by the looks of it, I won't be able to squeeze two lines of this. This should have been capped over there. I need to run at least one more belt over like over here. So I'm gonna center this afterwards. So again, the main goal here is to run as much hydrogen through these fractioners as possible, because that's what actually gives them the throughput. and the deuterium is gonna be outputted through here. So let's cut this to its basic building block. Copy this. And well, since we're not gonna do anything too fancy, I am quite confident to just place that over here and maybe have maybe like 10 of these for now. See how this is gonna work. Now I could have done this blueprint slightly better, and the belt at the top here will need to be reversed. I did forget one very important setting. There's no recipe to be set on the fractioner as far as I know. They automatically just work. Please tell me that you know to reverse for the whole thing. No, you don't. So I'll have to reverse each and every single one of these. And it is quintessential that I'm hoping that this is gonna be the bottom. Yeah, this is the bottom. It prioritizes input from the top and output on the bottom. Now, why output on the bottom is quite obvious. We want to always have as many items on this as possible. Input on the top is because I'm going to explain that in just a second. I need to copy paste the recipe into these things, and targeting them is apparently a challenge. They have a very small hitbox for some reason. Now this is gonna be obviously extendable. So let's get this one. This one will go in, and that's gonna be our deuterium feed. I will keep this line. I think that was a bit too close, because what needs to happen here is, okay, this is gonna be the one that's going up, and first thing is I want to have a fully compressed belt here. Of hydrogen. Let's get power. Let's get power imported over here from... Oh, there's a power plant right over here, which is gonna come in extremely handy. That's not in the right place. And then I just need to merge these two belts together. And this should be 4 stacks. Okay, now that it's stopped, we can actually see it alternates. Oh, yes, it alternates because this was not full stacked. So if I get all of these in, we can kind of see that the height is now constant. I will get this back in. I'll let this go in a loop for a bit. And this should now be 4 stacks permanent. That's great. And I want to get this in a loop, as I've mentioned earlier. So this is gonna come through here. This is gonna be input priority. So I didn't want to delete that much, but sure. I will keep that up over there and get it down. Just like that. So this will always top up with a full stack on the belt. If I understand how it works, this having the input priority at the top will guarantee that we always have 4 stacks on the belt. Okay, I still have and then this will keep this this moving. And I think that the last thing that I need to do over here is I need to have another piler. I need to have another piler because I will get smaller stacks over here. Where can I place the power balls? Yes, I do have space in between, so that is great. Let's actually see this in action. Now, I don't know if it's worth proliferating this because it will increase, I think, to 2%. We are getting... we have to run out the smaller stacks that we had at the very beginning. But this should come very close to 3600 throughput. There we go. Oh, that went down quite a lot. Am I throttled on power? I shouldn't be. Oh yes, the thing I was mentioning earlier, I need another stacker over here. The stacks were getting smaller and smaller and not being replaced. What's happening here? Does this one? So output priority and input priority. Was this one? Oh, this was reversed for some reason. Did I set it wrong for all the others as well? Or was it just... no, this is top bottom. So when I copy pasted the recipe, I think there was something odd. Okay. That is wrong. This needs to be over here. Now, this should always output stacks of 4, as far as I understand how this works. And it will hold the items in and always pile them, and you see that there's small gaps every once in a while. Basically, that's when there's no more items in the buffer. And that's when we top off with a fresh stack of 4. But if we look here, okay, this is the ratio that I was looking to see. 7,200 per minute constant rate. Or very close to constant, because sometimes we get very lucky. It outputs quite a bit of deuterium at the same time. So over here, it will take a while for things to stabilize. And well, there's also the fact that the 3 stacks from this place will be passed along, and the more we go into the build, the more 3 stack, 2 stack items we're gonna have. I guess what I could do is, at least in the center of the build, let's actually do that. Why not? I'm gonna restack them. Wait, what's happening there? Hello? Okay, these are working without any issues. All of these are in product overflow. They're telling me that there's not enough room that is quite interesting. Not exactly sure how that happens, but basically the input got flooded with hydrogen and it couldn't output. But the thing is that this should always be able to output. That's interesting. That is extremely interesting. Anyway, we should now have a fairly stable supply of deuterium. Let's actually check how our deuterium production is going. And that's probably gonna be the last thing that we're gonna do for this episode. So deuterium, over the last 10 hours we have had quite a stable supply and consumption for that matter. So we're producing 500 per minute. If I go over the last minute, we are okay, let's set this to this one. Our production has surpassed the consumption. Let's just focus on this one. Over 10 minutes, let's see. We can see that our production is steadily increasing. Our consumption is... I'm expecting this to rise up a bit as items go into the system, because we cannot consume something we do not have, obviously. So that number, that consumption number might be a bit misleading. It would be interesting to see, like even in Factorio, instead of consumption, see potential consumption. Basically have something calculated that if I have a factory down that has a set recipe, what is the maximum throughput for that recipe? Now there's a few other factors in there and whatnot, but I still think that that would be a pretty interesting thing to figure out. So this one, well, with the introduced gap, there might still be issues. Like this one is going to be the only one that's going to be at least close to functioning at maximum throughput. This one is actually quite low. I'm guessing that there are also some gaps in the system here, on the belt, that they're not always going to be filled by the supply. But yeah, overall, I think that this is a pretty decent build. It will provide us with a nice amount of deuterium for a very small power price. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. Again, there is the possibility of adding proliferation in here. I don't know if it's worth it or not. It might be worth it. It will increase the power demand. It will rise this up to 2%. So maybe once we have enough power that we don't care about it that much, it might be worth doing it. But for now, I'll leave it to this. And that being said, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I will see you here next time.